She had 3 daughters, a dental lab, and a husband who was supposed to be there for all of it. One morning, he wasn't, and Karen had a choice: close the lab or figure out how to run it, raise 3 girls, and build something that would outlast her grief. She chose to figure it out. What she built over the next 20 years is one of the most complete financial stories I've ever seen.
This is not a story about surviving loss. Every story on this channel is about that. This is a story about something rarer, about a woman who took the worst moment of her life and turned it into a 20-year system that produced 3 successful daughters, a fully digitized business, 5 employees, and 2 dental offices that her own children now run. By the end of this video, you'll understand 3 things. 1, why your habits are more valuable than your income. 2, how a small family business becomes a legacy. 3, what it actually means to invest in human capital, not in a spreadsheet, but in the people sitting at your dinner table. Stay with me. Karen was 40 years old when her husband died. Sophie was 10, Claire was 8, Megan was 5. They had built the dental lab together. Karen as the dental technician, her husband handling the business side. It wasn't a large operation, but it was theirs. A small, steady business that paid the mortgage, put food on the table, and gave their family something to build toward. When he died, the business side of that equation disappeared overnight. Karen didn't have a business degree. She had a dental technician certification, 3 daughters who needed her, and a lab full of equipment that still had clients waiting for orders. She had 2 options: close the lab, take whatever she could get from selling the equipment, find a job somewhere that would have her, start over from zero with 3 girls depending on her. Or keep the lab open, figure out everything her husband had been handling, learn what she didn't know. Do it all: the technical work, the business management, the mothering, simultaneously, without a manual, without a partner, without a day off. She chose the lab, not because it was easier, because she understood, even in the middle of her grief, that the lab was not just a business. It was the only asset she had. And assets don't close. But keeping the lab open was only the first decision. The second one, the one that nobody around her understood at the time, is the decision that built everything that came after. It started after school, every day, without exception. That's coming up right now. Every day after school, Sophie, Claire, and Megan came to the lab. Not occasionally, not when there was nothing else to do. Every day. At first, they did small things: answering the phone, organizing supplies, cleaning instruments, labeling orders. Things a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 5-year-old could actually do. Karen didn't apologize for it. She didn't frame it as a sacrifice or a burden. She framed it the only way that made sense to her. This is what we do. This is our family. This is how we move forward. On weekends, the lab was open. On school holidays, the lab was open. When Karen was exhausted, which was most of the time, the lab was open. Her daughters grew up inside that rhythm. Sophie, the oldest, learned the technical side early, watching her mother work, asking questions, understanding the craft. Claire, the middle daughter, had a different kind of mind. She saw the systems, the inefficiencies, the things that could be organized better. Megan, the youngest, absorbed everything without even realizing it. Then one evening, when Sophie was about 15, she asked the question that every child of a strict parent eventually asks. "Mom, why are you so strict? Why can't things just be easier?" Karen didn't answer immediately. She set down what she was working on. She looked at Sophie, the way mothers look at their children when they're about to say something they need to remember.
and she said, "Because easy doesn't build anything. The things you do every day, not sometimes, not when you feel like it, every day, those are the things that decide who you become. I'm not teaching you to work hard. I'm teaching you who you are." Sophie didn't fully understand it then. She does now. What Karen was doing, without having read a single page of behavioral science, is what James Clear calls identity-based habit formation in his landmark book, Atomic Habits. Most people think habits are about outcomes. I want to save money. I want to build a business. I want my children to be successful. But Clear argues that the most powerful habits don't start with outcomes. They start with identity. Not, I want to be successful, but I am the kind of person who shows up every day. Karen didn't tell her daughters she wanted them to be successful. She showed them, every single day after school, what kind of people they were going to be.
She was building their identity one repeated action at a time. Clear writes that every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. No single instance will transform your beliefs, but as the votes build up, so does the evidence of your identity. Sophie, Claire, and Megan cast those votes every day for years. By the time they were adults, the evidence was overwhelming. They were the kind of people who showed up, who worked, who built, who didn't wait for things to get easier.
Karen didn't teach them that with words. She taught them with a routine. A daily, non-negotiable, relentless routine. That is the most powerful financial and life lesson any parent can pass on to a child. But the habits weren't just building her daughter's character. They were building something else simultaneously. Something Karen was too busy to see clearly in the middle of it. The lab was growing. Not because she had a business plan, because of what Claire noticed one afternoon that changed everything. That's coming up right after this.
Claire was 22 when she made a decision that would transform the lab. Sophie and Megan had both gone to dental school, following the craft their mother had shown them since childhood. Claire had a different calling. Not dentistry, systems. She looked at the lab her mother had been running for 12 years and saw something Karen was too close to see. The business was running on memory, paper, and habit, which meant it was running on Karen. If Karen got sick, the lab stopped. If Karen forgot something, it was lost. If Karen wanted to grow, there was no infrastructure to hold the growth.
Claire spent 6 months building what the lab didn't have: a digital inventory system, an order tracking platform, a payment management process, a client database. She didn't hire a consultant. She learned it herself, the same way her mother had learned the business side of the lab 20 years earlier, by doing it, by figuring it out, by showing up every day until it worked. The transformation didn't happen overnight, but within 2 years, the lab that had been running entirely on Karen's shoulders was running on a system. And a business that runs on a system can grow. New services were added, dental prosthetics, bridges, crowns, the full range of what dental offices need. New clients came, new orders followed. The team that had been Karen alone became Karen, Claire, and 5 employees. The dental lab her husband had helped build was now something neither of them could have imagined in 2005.
Here's the financial principle behind what Karen did that most small business owners never figure out. She treated the lab as an asset, not as a job. The difference matters enormously. When you treat your business as a job, every dollar it generates goes to your expenses and your lifestyle. When you treat it as an asset, every dollar it generates that isn't essential goes back into making the asset more valuable. Karen didn't expand her lifestyle when the lab did well. She expanded the lab. New equipment, better materials, eventually, Claire's systems. Every reinvestment made the next year more productive than the year before. This is the compounding principle applied to a small business.
Not money in an index fund, capability in an operation. And the most important reinvestment she ever made wasn't in equipment or software, it was in her daughters. Sophie and Megan didn't go to dental school by accident. Karen worked weekends and holidays for years to make sure they could. That investment in their education, their skills, their future returned more than any piece of equipment ever could. 2 dental offices, run by her own daughters, sending clients to the lab their mother built, completing a circle that started in grief and ended in legacy.
Karen is 65 years old today. The dental lab is still open. It has 5 employees. It has a digital inventory system Claire built from scratch. It offers services it couldn't offer in 2005. It has clients who have been coming for 20 years. Sophie has her own dental office. Megan has her own dental office. Both of them send their lab work to their mother. The circle is complete. I think about Sophie's question sometimes. Mom, why are you so strict? Karen didn't answer it with a philosophy. She answered it with 20 years of proof. The proof is Sophie's dental office. The proof is Megan's dental office. The proof is Claire's inventory system and the 5 people who come to work every morning in a lab that almost closed in 2005. Strictness wasn't the point. The habits were the point. The identity was the point. The daily, relentless, non-negotiable showing up, that was the point. Karen didn't raise 3 successful daughters. She built 3 women who knew at a cellular level what it meant to be the kind of person who doesn't stop. That is the most valuable thing any single parent can give their children. Not money, not connections, not an easy life. A standard, applied every day, without exception, until it becomes who they are.
If you're a single parent right now, wondering if what you're doing every day is enough, wondering if your children see the sacrifice or just the strictness, they see it. They may not have words for it yet, but they see it. And one day, like Sophie, they'll understand exactly what you are building. The book behind everything Karen did intuitively is Atomic Habits by James Clear. I'll leave the link in the description. It is the most practical book ever written about how daily habits become identity, and identity becomes legacy.
If you're the kind of parent who shows up every day, even when it's hard, even when nobody sees it, even when your children ask why you're so strict, this channel was built for you. Hit subscribe. Not because I'm asking, because you already belong here. Leave a comment below. What's the one habit you want your children to inherit from watching you? See you next video.